Wait, you were also catcalled more often as a teen. So I met up with a group of friends last night, all AFAB, and the topic of catcalling came up. We're all very different ages, ranging 20s to 70s. But all of us recalled being catcalled more often when we were 14-15 than we ever were as grown women. I'm very much going to throw that anecdotal evidence in the face of the next dude who tells me it's a compliment. No, it's not. It's how you treat prey. And it's disgusting that fully grown adult men catcall children. Same for my friend group. It was the worst between 10-14 for most of us. Some of us between 14 to 16, and dramatically dropped off once we were in our 20s. For me, between 11-13 was the worst. We are also talking about from grown men, not from boys our age. From the ages of 10 through 20 were the worst. The scary ones were guys in cars that would follow me, slow down and start yelling at me. Hey, baby mama sweetheart, you need a ride. Why someone so pretty walking alone? Disgusting. Also, just as frightening were the ones you ignored that would become aggressive and shout things like, "You think you too good to speak? You ugly anyway biatch." I'm 56 now and don't miss any of that. I live my life now with my invisible old lady self. I have perfected the RBF and will turn anyone to stone should they dare to make eye contact. It's bad. I was targeted at 9 by my mom's boyfriend, and I still get it a lot even now at 21 because I'm short and younger looking. It's absolutely about the fact that they are vulnerable and young and can't be seen as a compliment in any way. Wow. You're totally correct. I'm not even an attractive woman by conventional standards. I've always been an ugly duckling and on the larger side. I've never been slim. But I was catcalled all the time as a teen between 12-19-ish by adult men. It still happened well into my 20s. But not nearly as much. I'm 30 now. And the last time I was catcalled, I was probably 25-26. It hasn't happened since. Thank you for bringing this up. But the realizations I'm making are just nauseated face. I was getting comments etc. since I was 11. Men who see a young teen preteen and thinks it's okay to make disgusting comments at them are mentally unwell. It's because catcalling is not about attraction. It's about power and control. Same reason why very slim women are harassed and followed the most. Which doesn't match what men are watching and enjoying online. I've also had this conversation a few times. It gets even worse when you factor in being in the UK, where almost everyone has to wear a school uniform up to the age of 16. We all got catcalled way more when wearing school uniform. So when there was zero chance of anyone thinking we weren't literal children. My wife was catcalled relentlessly as a teen and now as a mom. Wasn't really catcalled in between. It's pretty weird tbh. As a teen, it was always much older men. As a mom, they tend to be on the younger side, although she looks young for her age, so that may be part of it. We've got a lot of theories. All of them are problematic. I never realized this. But I think you're right. I remember the first time I got catcalled. I was still in primary school. Must have been around 12 years old. I remember so many catcalls. I can't remember being catcalled once in the city where I went to college and continued to live after my studies. It's the backpack. It's a young and vulnerable neon sign. You're probably just going to awkward laugh things off because you don't quite know how to respond. Or are nervous. Not cause a fuss. Be naive. The icky ones just make comments. The scary ones try to get you in their car. It was worst for me between 8-18. OMG. I never thought about that. I definitely was catcalled the most around 14-16. Can confirm. I was catcalled way more from 12-18 than any other age. Pretty fucking disgusting. I got it worst at 17-18, but my hairdresser said I looked 12. My friends all seemed to get it worse between 13-16. At 18 I gave up wearing women's clothing. I used to love pretty clothing and lots of skirts, dresses, and styling my hair. That didn't work. Putting weight on did. It's bittersweet that now I'm approaching 30 I'm finally allowing myself to fill my wardrobe with all the pretty clothing I missed out on in my 20s. I guess I'm a late bloomer. BC. It was worst for me in my mid-20s and onward. Was really skinny and slow to develop, so that probably saved me. Thank you hormones. Being an ugly duckling had its perks after all. It's been worst for me in my early 20s. I'm only 22, but I also had very short hair all through high school and looked exactly like a teenage boy. Once I started growing my hair back out, it started up pretty much immediately. First time I was catcalled, I was 11 and a college bro yelled he wanted to fuck me up the ass. Fellas, that is not a compliment. I feel like this is part pedophilia and part power dynamic of a much older dude feeling better about himself abusing someone to make them feel small. This was my experience and that of most of the women I've spoken to. Literally just yesterday I saw a group of maybe 11-13-year-old girls talking with a guy easily in his late 20s that had pulled his car over to catcall them and was trying to convince them to get in. I didn't even need to say anything. The second he saw me staring him down to get a look at his face and license plate number, he was out of there. This isn't some whoopsie-daisy phenomenon where these men can't tell a prepubescent child apart from an adult. They know exactly what they're doing. I was hit on more as a 12-14-year-old than I have been my entire life after that age. It's disgusting. I still from time to time get passes made at me. But I fully believe it's only because I'm on the smaller side and look young for my age. Seems once they find out I'm a grown adult, they back off. This is one of the many reasons I'm a hermit. Elementary and middle school, and they were always over 20. It was terrible. At least the boys my age always watched out for me and kept me safe. I hope they are all well. Yeah, I was catcalled. Followed home and generally bothered more between the ages of 11-20. Shows that it's definitely a certain type of man and a predatory behavior. Never thought about this. But it's the same for me. And I looked young for my age when I was a teen. Absolutely disgusting to think about. I think it was worst from 16-19 for me. 16 is the age I hit C-cups. Every girl starts being hit on and catcalled, and grown men start making them uncomfortable right around 10-12. Sometimes earlier. Sometimes later. But that seems to be where most of us experienced it. Right before puberty. I guess we all peaked in the eyes of creepy older men at a young age. Huh. I guess we all peaked in the eyes of creepy older men at a young age. Huh. I started getting catcalled at 11. Kept up until I was about 19. But the drop-off happened about 2021. The worst of the catcalling happened when I used to walk past a freight loading yard aged 12-13. I heard things said to me that I didn't even know what they meant. I just knew from the looks on their faces and laughter it was crude and sexual. First time I ever had a man do the finger v tongue waggle at me.